Do this once and watch how you earn people's respect. Most people think earning respect is about being the loudest person in the room, proving yourself over and over, or constantly showing everyone how smart and capable you are. But that's exhausting, and honestly, it rarely works. Real respect doesn't come from trying hard to impress people. It comes from how you carry yourself, how you handle conflict, and how you respond when someone tries to test you. So in the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you 4 powerful behaviors that will completely change how people see you and treat you. Let's get into it. Principle 1. Set a boundary and never negotiate it. Here's something you need to understand. People don't respect you because you're nice. They respect you because you respect yourself. And the fastest way to show that you respect yourself is by setting clear boundaries and actually enforcing them. Most people are afraid to set boundaries because they think it makes them difficult or mean. So they let people walk all over them, hoping that being agreeable will make them likable. But here's what actually happens. When you have no boundaries, people lose respect for you. They see you as someone they can manipulate, interrupt, or take advantage of. So here's what you do. The next time someone crosses a line, disrespects your time, talks over you, or treats you like you're less important, you address it immediately. Not aggressively, not emotionally, just calmly and directly. For example, if someone interrupts you in a meeting, you pause, look at them, and say, "I wasn't finished." Then you continue. If someone constantly cancels plans last minute, you stop making yourself available. You don't need to explain yourself. You just stop accommodating behavior that doesn't respect your time. Here's the key. You only need to do this once. Most people will test you to see if you're serious, but the moment they realize you won't tolerate disrespect, they adjust. And if they don't, that tells you everything you need to know about them. The people who respect boundaries are the people worth keeping around. There's actually a psychological concept behind this called the doormat effect. When you're too agreeable and never push back, people unconsciously categorize you as low status. But the moment you show that you have standards and you're willing to enforce them, people's perception of you shifts instantly. You go from someone they can take lightly to someone they need to respect. So set the boundary once, hold it firmly, and watch how quickly people start treating you differently. Principle 2. Stop over-explaining yourself. One of the fastest ways to lose respect is by over-explaining your decisions. When you feel the need to justify every choice you make, you're essentially asking for permission. And when you ask for permission, you position yourself as someone who needs approval. Confident people don't do that. They make decisions and stand by them without needing everyone to agree. Let me give you an example. Let's say you decline an invitation to go out because you're tired and want to stay in. Most people would say something like, "I'm so sorry, I've just been so exhausted lately, and I have so much to do tomorrow, and I really need to catch up on sleep, and I promise I'll come next time." That's over-explaining. And when you do that, you're signaling insecurity. But here's what a confident person would say. "I can't make it tonight, but thanks for the invite." That's it. No lengthy excuse. No apologizing for having boundaries. Just a simple, direct response. And here's what's interesting. When you stop over-explaining, people actually respect your decisions more. Because you're not looking for their validation, they assume you don't need it. This applies to everything. Your career choices, your relationships, your lifestyle. If someone questions why you're doing something a certain way, you don't owe them a dissertation. You can simply say, "This is what works for me," or "I've thought about it and this is my decision." The less you feel the need to justify yourself, the more people will trust that you know what you're doing. Think about people you admire. The ones who command respect are never the ones scrambling to explain themselves. They move with quiet confidence. They make decisions and stand by them. And even if people disagree, they don't waver or apologize for being themselves. That energy is magnetic. Principle 3. Speak less, observe more. Here's a truth most people don't realize. The person who talks the most in the room isn't the most respected. It's the person who speaks only when they have something valuable to say. When you constantly fill silence with words, you dilute your presence. But when you're selective about when you speak, people actually lean in and listen when you do. Most people talk too much because they're uncomfortable with silence. They feel the need to prove themselves, fill awkward gaps, or make sure everyone knows they're smart. But confident people don't have that anxiety. They're comfortable being quiet. They observe, they listen, and they wait for the right moment to contribute. And when they finally speak, it carries weight. Let me explain how this works. Imagine you're in a group conversation, and everyone is throwing out opinions, talking over each other, trying to be the loudest voice. Most people would join in, desperate to be heard. But if you want respect, you do the opposite. You sit back. You listen. You watch who says what, who gets defensive, who's actually making sense. And then, when the noise dies down, you speak. And because you've been quiet, people will actually stop and listen. This technique is used by some of the most powerful people in business and leadership. They don't dominate conversations, they control them by choosing when to engage. CEOs and high-level executives often speak very little in meetings, but when they do, everyone listens. It's because they understand that silence creates authority. When you're not constantly trying to prove yourself, people assume you don't need to. But here's the most important part. When you do speak, make it count. Don't just repeat what someone else said. Add insight. Challenge assumptions. Ask a question that shifts the conversation. Show that you are actually paying attention and thinking critically. That combination of silence and strategic input is what makes people see you as powerful. Principle 4. Walk away from disrespect without explanation. This is the most important principle, and it's the one most people struggle with. If you want people to respect you, you need to be willing to walk away from situations and people who don't. Not because you're dramatic, not because you want attention, but because you value yourself too much to stay where you're not valued. Most people stay in disrespectful situations because they think leaving will make them look weak. So they tolerate bad behavior, hoping it will get better. They give second chances, third chances, 10th chances. And what happens? The disrespect continues. Because when you stay, you teach people that disrespecting you has no consequences. But when you leave, without anger, without explanation, without a big dramatic scene, you send the most powerful message possible. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're in a friendship where someone constantly makes passive-aggressive comments, dismisses your feelings, or only reaches out when they need something. Most people would try to fix it. They'd have long conversations, set boundaries, explain how they feel, and hope the person changes. But here's the reality. If someone repeatedly disrespects you, they already know what they're doing. And if they valued you, they would have stopped. So instead of trying to change them, you just quietly distance yourself. You stop being available. You stop investing energy. And eventually, you move on. The same applies to work environments, relationships, and any situation where you're not being treated with basic respect. You don't need to make a big announcement. You just leave. And here's what happens when you do that. People notice. They realize they took you for granted, and whether they admit it or not, they'll respect you more for having the strength to walk away. The people who earn lasting respect are the ones who understand their own worth and refuse to settle for less. They know that staying in a disrespectful situation is worse than being alone. And that level of self-respect is something people can't ignore. When you carry yourself like someone who will not tolerate being undervalued, people adjust how they treat you. And the ones who don't, you've already left them behind. So to recap, Set a boundary once and enforce it. Stop over-explaining your decisions. Speak less and observe more. And walk away from disrespect without looking back. Respect isn't something you beg for or earn by proving yourself. It's something you command by how you show up and what you tolerate. When you respect yourself, other people have no choice but to respect you too. And once you have that, everything in your life shifts.